take 3 to 4 minutes.
Maybe that for unequal groups, maybe that can be the solution.
Note maker. Talk to each other. Talk to each other. Talk to others.
Yes, time. Time matters.
So equal chance.
And the chance is given
Hello?
in order to avoid.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm a commerce lecturer from Government Degree Women's College, Nalgonda, sir.
Okay.
Sir, and I have a doubt that whatever the techniques you are giving to us, is it useful for those subjects? Because I'm a commerce lecturer. Is it useful for the account subjects? Because we are following the same traditional and conventional methods that writing on the board. Is it possible through this method, by adopting that, we can have some change in the students as well as in our technique?
Okay. We are not talking about using technology in the classroom today. So the board still continues to be a very, very, very useful tool for any teacher anywhere. Leaving that aside, we are talking about involving students in the class while it is happening. So the title of the lesson today is student-centered learning. So while you are teaching commerce, for instance, all that we need to do is how we can bring the students into the class. I am teaching accounts, I don't know the subject still, but maybe I am asking them to resolve a problem, solve a problem, an accounting problem. Maybe what I do is, before I give the solution to the problem, I ask my students to form pairs, I ask my students to form groups, work together, share each other's ideas, and maybe also at the end share with the whole class. So this is not subject specific. The skills that we are discussing here are not related to language teaching, are not related to subject, any particular subject. I mean, languages and content subjects can be taught equally effectively using any of these techniques. As far as the blackboard is concerned, I mean, this is still, I mean, very good technology. I mean, you can replace it with an overhead projector, you can replace it with an LCD projector or whatever, in case you have pre-prepared slides. But the blackboard is used today to list out the points. I think nothing comes closest to it in its effectiveness. Are you convinced?
Hello.
Yeah, tell me please.
Sir, I have one more doubt, sir.
Yes, tell me.
See, as well in our class, there is a large gathering. It's around 70 to 60 students. So, is it possible in 1 hour to conduct that technique in the class?
Thank you very much. That's a really wonderful question. In fact, we are going to answer it together. Maybe if you wait and watch the rest of the program, you'll find an answer to that. But still, let me tell you, it doesn't consume a lot of time. We are integrating the activity with the technique. The content and the technique go together. In fact, if you have 60 minutes, the same 60 minutes can be spent only the teacher speaking all the 60 minutes, or the same 60 minutes can be spent in such a way that the students also participate. The difference is, in one the teacher teaches, and in the second one the learner has a better chance to learn. I think we must be very clear about teaching and learning. Teaching is completing the syllabus. Learning is the learner grasping something. I can complete the syllabus without even one single student understanding me in the class. Isn't it? I have completed the syllabus. I have finished the syllabus. The teacher's job is over. But has learning happened? So if you look at it from the learner's point of view, whether learning has happened or not is more important. So to convert our classrooms into learner-centered fields, learner-centered platforms, what is it that we can do is what is being demonstrated today. Okay? Is that fine? One more call?
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, it's my pleasure to talk to you and interact for this program, sir.
Where are you from?
I'm Sridhar, English lecturer from Rajampeta Government Degree College, sir.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Sridhar.
Sir, I have gone through all the problems that we have discussed under GD, sir. Group discussions,
Okay.
I need to say. Of all these things, I found I've got only one solution to all these problems. The thing is that creating awareness basically about the GD, spreading that among the students is first and primary, I think,
Right.
to clear all these problems.
Right.
So that they would be arranging themselves automatically instead of we going on and telling them. And that saves the time.
Okay.
And coordination, of course, comes through realization basically. And aggressive participation should be checked naturally according to our means.
Right.
So if these things can be basically awareness of and how to go with the group discussion, basically I think that would help the students to overcome all these problems, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Sridhar. There is a lot of difference between group discussion and group work. We are not demonstrating group discussion today. Maybe we will demonstrate it at some other point. But today we are doing group work within the class. So I think you are seeing how group work is being done. And the second point that you made is very valid. We have to motivate, inspire our students to become aware of what they need to learn, how they need to learn. Without that inspiration, without that motivation, nothing really happens in the class. An unmotivated student needs a lot of soft skill, needs a lot of motivation. And a good teacher should always begin with that. A good teacher should not stop with teaching the subject. A good teacher actually begins by motivating the students and bringing the students into the classroom. So I am sure you are doing that job already. I am happy that you made that point, and this is a lesson for everybody. I think what Sridhar said, I mean, everybody must keep in mind, see that you spend enough time to motivate your students. Yeah, the next call please. Hello.
Sir, this is Ravi Prakash working for Government Degree College, Dole, sir.
Okay.
My doubt is, I am a language teacher basically.
Yes, Mr. Varprasad.
When I am teaching English language to my students through ICT, how can I incorporate this type of learner-centric method among our students? That is my doubt, sir.
I think in the beginning
can
of
we
this.
separate these two methods?
Okay. I think we made a mention of this at the beginning of today's class here, the demonstration class. We said that these should be integrated into the class, into every class for that matter, whatever subject we are teaching, at whatever point of the lesson we are. Pair work, group work and this kind of things can be integrated. They are not separate activities. For instance, I do not go to the class today and say, today I am going to do pair work and tomorrow I am going to teach the lesson. It's not that way. Teaching the lesson happens using the pair work. Teaching the lesson happens using the group work. Group work and pair work and all these things that we listed earlier on the board are integral parts to make learning happen in the class. All these days we have just been teaching, whether the syllabus has been finished or not. Today we have to look at it from their point of view. So whether it's from teacher centric, has it become student centric or not? Has the student learnt anything at the end of the class? For instance, because you said you are a language teacher, it is all the more applicable to you. Are my students able to speak English on their own? then what's the use of teaching for 2 years? 2 years I have taught them English and they are not able to say their name in English. This is our complaint, no? Many of us complain. And if our complaint is right, we have to find the solution to that. That means my traditional technique is not working. The teacher-centered teaching has not been working, otherwise my students would have been speaking English outside. They are not doing that. That means I have to experiment and try and maybe bring into effect some new technique that makes them speak on their own, that makes them use language effectively on their own. That's the whole effort here. Thank you. Yeah, coming back to that, I think in case you have found some solutions to the problems that we have listed on the board, I request Anita to please help me. You will just put a tick mark if you think that the solution that they suggest is relevant to the problem. Let them tell. Each group will find one solution. You will tell one solution to Anita and you will also tell which problem does it address. The solution that you are going to give the class, you also have to tell which problem. Sometimes it may address more than one problem. Possible. So you tell Anita which problem you have in mind and what solution you are suggesting. Please, every group will give one solution to any one of those problems or some of those problems.
Sir.
Yeah.
We are giving a solution to first one, lack of coordination with the group. So to avoid that, when assigning the roles for themselves among group members like initiator, note maker, timekeeper, moderator and spokesperson, etc. like that.
So just put a tick mark here. Yeah. So what do? We assign roles so that there is no confusion. Yeah, the next group please.
Yeah, I want to address the last one, deviation from the assigned task. So unless the topic is familiar with the students, they cannot discuss actually among the group members. So the topic should be very familiar and it should be an appropriate topic to the students.
Yeah, in case we are doing this group work after the lesson is done, I think this problem
it depends on the level of the students also.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, that group.
A solution to unequal group. So like a teacher should see that the group is a mix of bright students as well as slow learners. Yeah.
So ensure that the groups are equally balanced.
Yeah.
So use some trick, some teacher trick to ensure that the groups are equally placed. One second.
My solution is with regards to infrastructure, sir. In our government degree colleges we have iron dual desks. In some cases there is no problem if there is no infrastructure at all. We can make the students easily into groups. Whereas we have iron dual desks which can't be moved easily in order to form the groups. If we ask the students to move the benches, there will be more noise than the intended noise. So if we have to provide the colleges with individual desks so that group works or pair works will be easily formed.
Okay, I think that's a wonderful solution, but the thing is, in case it cannot be done, can you think of an alternative method with the limited infrastructure that's available to you?
Okay, sir.
Can something be done?
Turn around.
That's all. That's the easiest. Maybe one dual desk and students sitting on the next dual desk. They turn and face each other, and they discuss. They talk to each other. That's one easy. For instance, let's demonstrate this. All four of you, please turn that side. Four of you, please turn that side. 1 second. Yeah. Yes, please.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, this is Murli, Government Degree College from Jamal Margu.
Mr. Murli, yes.
Actually, my question is, if the students are not showing interest and if the students are not willing to participate in group work and pair work, how can we manage, how can we control, how can we motivate those students in that situation, what we need to do exactly?
To answer you have to first answer my question, why are they not interested?
Means actually students, they are coming to the college and they are not showing interest in studies. Naturally, mostly they are coming and they wanted to enjoy and they wanted to go outside, and even if we wanted to motivate them, then they're not even coming to the college and they are roaming outside. This is the most of the situation happens in the college.
Now, the students are outside, they're not coming inside the class. I want them to come in. Tell me, what should I do? I want my students to come inside my class. Shall I continue with what I am doing, or shall I do something different so that my students come into the class? Which between the two, which do you prefer?
We need to do something different.
Something different. So that's what this effort is. That's what this effort is. If I go continue teaching what I am doing the same way, I mean my students anyway have not been coming, they don't continue tomorrow also, they don't continue coming. They continue not coming to the class. But if I do something different, something more interesting, something more focused, perhaps there is a possibility of bringing a few more students. Let me try this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Right. So, yeah, is there one more call? Okay. Otherwise, so yes, please.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. May I know you?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Hello.
Whether the teacher has to adopt this technique, group work technique. The teacher should announce the topic before this group work technique, sir?
Yes. The topic must be known to the students, no? Otherwise, how will the
not well in advance, sir, one day before or 2 days before?
It can be done. It can be done. If my students need, I mean, a little more support, maybe my students are not really very good at doing this kind of things in the beginning, maybe at the earlier stages, I will give them the topic beforehand and I tell them that there is going to be some group work like this tomorrow, please become ready. Otherwise, if my students are bright,
can it work out, sir?
It works, certainly.
When the teacher enters into the classroom and during his class, can he announce the topic and that will work out?
You have to select the topic that your students can address. See, I am the judge. As a classroom teacher, I am the judge what my students can do. If my students are bright, I give them a tougher topic. And if my students are very low in their abilities, I choose an appropriate topic. For instance, the same poem, what do you teach? What subject do you teach?
But when the topic involves some technicalities and etc. and etc.
Now, what subject do you teach?
For example, I am a commerce lecturer.
Okay.
For example, solving the problem, solution for the problem, and also some of the, for example, business law will be there, you know. In the final year, BCom final year, we will have the business law subject.
Okay.
So it is a fully, the syllabus is fully covers with different laws relating to the different
Yeah, I am not a commerce teacher, but let me give you a quick example. Suppose there is a business law, which I have taught them, a law. Rule number 36 or maybe a constitutional provision number so and so. So what I have done, I have taught this to my students yesterday. And today I come to the class and I recall what I did yesterday and I tell them to get into pairs and I ask them to discuss with each other the implications of that rule. Or maybe in case they could change the law, how else would they do it? For instance, yesterday's budget that was presented in the parliament. Maybe I will ask pairs to be formed and the pairs will discuss one provision of the national budget that was presented yesterday and whether they like it or not. Maybe the pairs will discuss one provision. Maybe you will give copies of the newspaper in the class. Maybe you will bring 20-30 copies of the newspaper to the class that will hardly cost you 20 rupees and then you take it to the class, give one copy of the newspaper to every pair, you tell them to read the headlines and identify one provision, one change that has been made and the pairs or the groups will discuss and they come up with their views. You ask them to react to that. Is it a good or bad provision? The tax has been reduced on a certain commodity. Is it good or bad? You discuss, you encourage them to discuss. Okay, the next call please.
Hello?
Yeah, yes.
Hello?
Yes, yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am Bharat Raj.
Okay.
Lecturer in Physics, Giriraj Government College, madam. Hello?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Yugraj.
So, my question is, sir, how can we make the students more active during the practical session, sir? We have practicals, in physics practicals.
Rose would like to answer that? To make students more active during the practical session. Anybody would like to address that? Yeah, Anita? Anita would like to.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah, tell me again.
Hello?
Yeah, yes, tell me, I can hear you.
I am not getting, sir.
What? How to make students participate in the English language practicals? Yes.
Right, sir.
Physics.
Physics. Okay,
right.
I think group work, pair work and group work can be done in the practical sessions also. Instead of the students individually working out the practicals, two of them can work out on that together and then discuss what they found out of that doing that practical and then they share it with the class.
So in this way, their doubts are cleared, they'll have a better understanding of the concept, and it works well, these techniques work well in the class. Anything to add?
Yeah, I think suppose, I mean, my knowledge of physics is very, very rudimentary, but still something like maybe a very basic thing like a vernier calipers or something you are teaching, a screw gauge you are teaching. So maybe you can put this, I mean, the laboratory class into pairs, and each teaches the other or each helps the other. They come up with some findings, I mean, after talking to each other together, and they discuss and they benefit from each other, I think. Or maybe very cleverly, without telling them, you can form pairs on the basis of one bright student and one weak student. You will not tell your students, I have put you together with that boy because you are bright or because you are weak. You will never tell them. But still you will have some idea in your mind. You will know which student is brighter, which student is not so very bright. So you will put them together and you will say both of you work together on this vernier calipers, and then you find out the result. So they are learning from each other. So do this kind of thing so that the practical classes become more interesting. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Come back to this. Once again, I'd like to demonstrate how a group work can be done with a limited infrastructure. Suppose you have fixed tables where furniture cannot be moved and then things cannot be done of that kind. So I request all of you to please turn that side. Yeah, please turn that side. Not all of you, just for demonstration. Turn facing them. That's all. So this becomes group work. So I request these 8 people to talk together and arrive at some consensus. I give them a task. And tell them, all 8 of you, you already have made some notes, discuss these notes and also arrive at some consensus. So I don't need any infrastructure for this, because you said you have fixed a desk. All that they need, boys are very comfortable sitting, I mean, putting their legs inside those desks, no, and they do it very, I mean, they enjoy doing it. Even girls enjoy doing it. In a mixed class, maybe you think of lots of different solutions. So all that you need is just ask them to turn around. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry for troubling you. Okay, yeah. The next solution, please. Yeah, take that. I'm sorry. Yeah, the next
solution, I would like to talk about the passivity of the students and also about the domination of bright students. And here we can concentrate upon how these students can be brought into a specific role. Like when the teacher starts a group work, he assigns roles specific to each individual. So by turn taking, by assigning the roles first to the passive participants, as like a spokesperson can be given to an active participant, and timekeeper can be given to a very passive participant, or a note making can be given to a passive participant. After that, the teacher can change the roles. The spokesperson becomes the timekeeper, and then the timekeeper or the note maker becomes the spokesperson.
Great, that's great. So instead of the groups appointing their own spokespersons, maybe the teacher very quietly, without giving them any reason, the teacher does not say, oh, you never speak in the class, today you become the spokesperson. He need not say that. He need not, without saying anything, you can say, oh, why don't you come and present your group's views? Okay. So the teacher identifies, the teacher keeps a constant watch on the class and identifies who needs to be given what support. If there is a student who has always been talking, he will make him the timekeeper the next time. Okay. So maybe use, your judgment to ensure that the passive students also come into the limelight. Yeah, the next group. Sorry.
Our group has come up with one solution which actually addresses the question raised by one of the dial-in participants. The task that is given should be so short that it could be completed quickly. It shouldn't extend for too long a period.
Please write time consuming.
Yes, in the 60-minute
time consuming
class. Thank you.
Time consuming.
The task should be short and well structured.
Yeah. So if the problem is time consuming, if the issue is the task itself, so that's a teacher problem actually. Yeah. The students have nothing to do with it. The teacher does not know how long does the task need to be finished. If I give them a task that needs 2 hours and I give them 2 minutes to finish that, where are my students? So it's the teacher's mistake. So the teacher has to address it himself, and before he goes to the class he must rehearse to himself. He must plan how long does that task need to be addressed. So is it a 5-minute task or 10-minute task? Give them enough time. If it's a 10-minute task, give them 10 minutes. If it's a 15-minute task, give them 15 minutes. If you think that a whole class is needed for something, maybe it becomes equal perfect if you give them enough time. Yesterday, Anita was talking to me about projects and other things that are done outside the classroom. They also become some kind of group work. Maybe some 4 students are given a project and they need not do it in the class. They need 1 day, not 10 minutes. They may have to work a whole month on that. That's a still group work. They work in a group and arrive at some common consensus and present their views to the class at a later stage. So group work can happen outside the class also. Yeah, time consuming. Yeah, you can please mark a tick. So we found a solution.
To avoid the confusion and use of mother tongue, if the teacher will take a bit of part while doing the group work, then there is a interaction with the students to avoid the confusion about the topic as well as the mother tongue.
Good.
So it will be very useful for the group work.
Good, good. Yeah, thank you very much, Ash. Yeah, use of mother tongue. I have a point to make here. Only in English language classes and maybe other language classes and English medium classes, the problem of Telugu arises. In the Telugu medium classes and in content subjects, this problem is not there. They are anyway speaking their mother tongue or whatever. Absolutely no problem. But in an English medium class or in an English class, if the student is speaking using the mother tongue or maybe a language other than English, what can the teacher do? I think if you have recorded this video, if you go back and see when the group discussion was going on, what was the teacher doing? The teacher was monitoring. The teacher was not just sitting and the teacher did not go away. The teacher did not sleep during the time. Teacher did not go to the next room and talk to another teacher. The teacher was monitoring. If there is a group that is using some other language, what would the teacher do? The teacher would spend more time there. And even his presence itself is enough. Yes, please. Hello? Hello? Cut. Oh, okay. So, the teacher's role is all the more important. When group work is happening, he cannot afford to sleep. He cannot afford to rest. In fact, he is working more actively when group work is happening. Constantly monitor. If somebody is using mother tongue, what he does, he just goes near. If necessary, he tells them, advises them to use English. He will not say, don't speak Telugu. He will say, why don't you try English? Why don't you try English? This is an English class, try English. I mean, if you make a mistake, it's okay. He encourages fluency. Or otherwise, he just goes and stands there near them. Just because the teacher is standing there, they will automatically switch over to the target language. So yeah, yes, please. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Hello?
Yes, hello?
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 Sir, hello?
Please reduce the volume of your TV.
Sir, myself nagaRAJU calling from Women's College, Srikakulam, sir. It is a very good program conducting a group discussion for students. In that case, it is essential to provide a format of dialogue, a language format for students to conduct this group discussion, sir. This is my suggestion, sir.
Right. Okay, thank you.
To manage the time.
Thank you.
It is essential, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so, yeah, yes.
Yeah, our group has actually come up with the solution to the questions raised by commerce lecturer about business law. So it is not actually group discussion we are doing the group work as we have mentioned earlier. In case of business law, he can come up with pieces of business law, he can cut into pieces, different laws, and he can ask the students, form groups and give the laws to groups, and also like some law which is related to proprietorship, laws which is related to taxation, laws which are related to
segregation.
Yeah, so he can ask them to match laws. And
so you are suggesting an activity.
So it is activity based group work, not discussion based group work.
Okay, good. Yeah. So you can think of lots of activities. When you go back to your colleges, you can help your colleagues with lots of ideas. Yeah. Any other solutions? Anybody else? Yeah, please.
Before the task is given to the students, in order to avoid confusion especially, the teacher should see that the instructions should be simple,
good,
clear,
thank you,
and short.
Actually,
that's very important actually, sir.
Very good. Thank you very much. saying that. Yeah, yes, Rose.
Regarding teacher unpreparedness, I think teachers should be ready with a concrete lesson plan, and then the material that would be required to do group work in the class, what she would need to give to the students. She should be clear about the task and the time. So then that can be avoided.
I totally agree with Rose, and I would like to change this number to 1 and this number to 7. This is the most important area. If group work does not happen properly, if it goes wrong, it's here. The problem is here. So we always try to find fault with the other side. We always try to find fault with the infrastructure. We always try to find fault with the syllabus. We always try to find fault with the principal. We always try to find fault with the system. Right?